Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're diving into something literally every homeowner around here has to deal with sooner or later. And let's be honest, it's a battle. If you own a house in Owasso, Oklahoma, you aren't just doing basic property maintenance. You're actively defending your home against the ultimate antagonist, our extreme Oklahoma climate. And your roof? Well, that's your frontline armor. Today, we're going to break down exactly what this wild weather does to your house, how to spot the invisible damage it leaves behind, and most importantly, how to survive the whole replacement process without getting scammed. All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with Oklahoma's weather war, look at why Owasso roofs fail, and learn how to spot hidden damage. Then, we'll cover how to navigate scams and insurance, and wrap up with the professional rebuilding process. Okay, let's jump straight into Section 1, Oklahoma's extreme weather war, and what it really means to battle the elements here. You know, Owasso isn't just dealing with your average seasonal changes. We're positioned right in the crosshairs of a major severe weather corridor. To really understand the threat, we have to visualize this extreme baseline. We are talking about absolutely baking summer heat, well over 100 degrees, combined with 50+ mile-per-hour wind gusts. Those two forces work together to literally bake and crack your asphalt shingles until they are incredibly brittle. This isn't just an occasional storm. This is a relentless year-round assault. And beyond that heat, the seasonal threats are just off the charts. We're talking baseball-sized spring hail that completely shutters shingles, brutal winter freeze-thaw cycles that destroy watertight seals, and even shifting clay soil that stresses the very points where your roof connects to your walls. And here's the real kicker. Because there are zero natural wind blocks east of the Osage Hills, entire neighborhoods in Owasso are left completely exposed, taking the absolute brunt of these storm fronts. Which brings us to Section 2, why Owasso roofs fail and the specific vulnerabilities we're dealing with. See, it's not just about the weather itself, it's about what that weather is hitting. A massive culprit here is something called wind uplift. This is the upward force exerted by wind as it moves over your roof. When those 50-mile-per-hour gusts whip across newer subdivisions with direct wind exposure, places like Patriot Park and Smith Farm, they literally get right under improperly fastened shingles and just rip them right off. And once the wind breaches that outer protective layer, rainwater pours directly onto your home's vulnerable wood decking. On top of the wind, we've got an aging infrastructure problem. Think about homes built during Owasso's massive housing boom in the 90s and 2000s, especially out in neighborhoods like Redbud Valley and Stone Canyon. Those roofs are hitting the end of their typical 20-year lifespan. And these aren't simple roofs. They feature really complex designs with multiple hips, elevation changes, and valleys. After battling 2 decades of Oklahoma weather, water easily collects and just sits in those valleys, causing those beautiful architectural features to finally fail. Now let's move to Section 3, spotting hidden roof damage, because the biggest threats are often invisible. It's crazy to think about, but the most destructive damage happening over your head right now might be entirely invisible from the ground. You might look up, see all your shingles still attached, and think, hey, I'm perfectly fine. But you've got to watch out for high-risk hidden issues. Take inadequate attic ventilation, for example. It is incredibly insidious. When your roof can't breathe, it traps 150-degree heat inside the attic during the summer. It turns into a literal oven up there. That heat is cooking your shingles from the inside out, drastically shortening their lifespan without you ever noticing a single missing shingle from your driveway. And just because you can't see the damage doesn't mean your roof is effectively shedding water anymore. Ignoring hidden issues, things like fractured shingle granules from spring hail impacts, or maybe pipe boots that are slowly leaking, is essentially a ticking time bomb. If left unchecked, it's absolutely going to lead to massive interior wood rot, sagging roof decks, and eventually those dreaded brown water stains blossoming right across your living room ceiling. So, how do we protect ourselves? That's Section 4, navigating insurance and scams and protecting your wallet. If your roof does take a hit, you absolutely have to know how to dodge the predatory contractors that tend to flood into town after a major storm. The contrast between a storm chaser and a legitimate local expert is completely stark. If a roofer doesn't have a physical business address, or if they're pressuring you for upfront cash before materials even arrive, or promising you the moon in a 5-minute pitch, run. A true local expert is going to give you a detailed, written estimate. They'll actively manage your claim with solid evidence, and crucially, they'll actually still be in business 5 years from now to honor their warranty. I really need to explicitly warn you about the new Oklahoma roofing laws regarding deductibles too. If a storm chaser offers to just waive your insurance deductible, or maybe provide some inflated rebate to cover it, do not sign with them. Seriously, under state law, that is strictly classified as insurance fraud. Falling for a slick sales pitch promising a free roof actually makes you complicit in that fraud. A legitimate, honest contractor will always require the deductible to be paid legally and completely transparently. Now, a question that's probably on your mind right now is, will roofing prices go down if I just hold off until next year? Well, looking at the data, the answer is no. Thanks to rising national material tariffs on asphalt and steel, paired with massively high local labor demand right here in Owasso, prices are either holding firm or slowly climbing. Waiting around for a cheaper roof only gives that hidden damage more time to cause structural rotting. And trust me, fixing structural rot will cost you significantly more in the long run. Let's wrap things up with Section 5, the professional rebuilding process, which is really your ultimate solution. Getting a clear, code-compliant rebuilding strategy is all about doing it right the first time. To actually survive out here, your new roof needs shingles that meet ASTM D3462 wind standards. Ideally, you're looking for Class 4 impact-resistant shingles to survive our infamous spring hail. But here is the absolutely crucial part about the installation itself. Oklahoma's Tornado Alley conditions demand 6 fasteners per shingle. The industry standard in moderate climates is only 4, but 4 just won't cut it here. And remember that cooking attic we talked about earlier? Well, code also requires 1 square foot of ventilation per 150 square feet of attic space, just to keep your wood decking from rotting away. So where is your money actually going in a professional replacement? Well, labor and tear-off take up the largest slice of the pie, and for good reason. Tearing off old materials on a steep roof is incredibly tough, hazardous work. Highly skilled, locally insured labor in Owasso rightfully commands the biggest part of your investment. Why? Because proper installation, like nailing exactly on the line and installing the flashing perfectly, is literally the only thing that activates those lifetime material warranties. You're paying for the expertise to get it done right. A true pro takes what feels like a daunting, stressful ordeal and breaks it down into a highly logical sequence. Step 1 is a comprehensive inspection, where they thoroughly document the damage with photos to help manage your insurance claim. Step 2 is the expert installation, which includes daily cleanups with magnetic nail sweeps so your driveway and your car tires stay safe. And finally, Step 3 is the final walkthrough, where you review all the work together and receive your solid, documented warranties. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Has your roof quietly lost its battle with the Oklahoma elements without you even knowing it? Do not assume you're completely safe just because you don't see water actively dripping from your ceiling today. It's time to take action. Schedule a professional, local inspection to uncover any hidden threats before the next major storm rolls over the Osage Hills and reveals that damage the hard way. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we will see you next time.